Hi guys, this is another vlog or video blog of me out in nature. This is for the channel Weather Spazify. Some of you may already know this. I'm a meteorologist, an atmospheric scientist, a science educator, and a total nature guru. I love nature, and I've always been a nature girl, even when I was a kid. It just took me a while to get back into coming back out here and rediscovering my my inner child. And this is the third video take I've done of me coming out here and doing my little grounding technique of no shoes and absorbing negative ions from the Earth's core, or the Earth's energy fields, to try to recharge my energetic body, which is not visible to most people, but a lot of people are gifted in seeing auras and different colored fields around one's physical body. And even though some people can't see auras, usually you can feel or get a sense for people's vibes, is what I call it. I kind of just have an inner sense or inner knowing of what sorry, I thought I heard something behind me of what somebody's gonna be like based on their energy. So if somebody comes in like a room and I automatically feel like a shudder, like like I feel that, I'm like, oh god, okay, they're gonna have like a total red aura, because they are totally just screwed up and stuck in that root chakra, but not in a good way. You know, they're just totally dissociated from a healthy energetic state. So that's kind of how I know. And on the other end of that, the positive end, is that try to give you some more light. On the flip side of that, somebody can just come in when you're kind of having a crappy day with a happy smile, bouncing in your room and saying, hey, what's up? Let's go do this. Let's go out. And at first you're kind of like, oh gosh, this person is so bubbly and cheery, and you know, what am I gonna do? I'm kind of irritated. But eventually, before you know it, you start feeling bubbly and happier too. And you're like, oh, okay, it's working. Their positive energy is totally lifting me up. And then you can kind of start vibing and tapping into their energy and their auric field as being like a, for me, it's usually anywhere between greenish bluish to a bluish violet, depending on how well they're communicating outwardly. That would be the throat chakra blue. Or if it's more heart-based and heartfelt energy and calmer, that would be more in the green colored space or auric color space. And yeah, so that's just kind of a cool thing, looking up auras and how they work, and they really are real. And I know this jumped right there, but what I'm basically meaning is that they're real auras is because a lot of people have had a misconstrued idea of what science really is all about for so long, including myself. And we all are taught in school that atoms are the building blocks of all matter. Everything is matter. Well, there is some truth to that, but you know, we go beyond the physicality of just atoms. We are also energy, okay? We fundamentally at the core are energetic beings who are temporarily in this physical body, here to serve a purpose or a life mission here on Earth. For some of us it's easier than others, but the point is that the reason why it's so great that quantum physicists and quantum theorists have proved that energy and frequency and vibration is the major core of all living things is that tells us that there is life after physical death, and that death isn't necessarily the end to everything. It's the end to life as we know it here on Earth, but most often a lot of these infinite souls that we carry will experience new realities and new experiences post-physical death. It can be quite amazing based on near-death experiences that I've heard. And NDEs is what they're called, sometimes for short. I myself had a near-death experience at one point in my life. I think it was back in 2013, spring of 2013, just after that major 2012 shift that the Mayans predicted back in the day, way back. That is when really my major awakening started to happen. I was unconscious for 20 to 30 minutes due to carbon monoxide poisoning, and I was in a very severe hypoxic state, and somehow ended up in this weird fire that started through SpongeBob mac and cheese, and on my stove that boiled over, and I fell asleep, and my senses were just gone. I didn't hear any fire alarms. I didn't even know what was going on. I was just in this peace, blissful state of, it was complete darkness, but it was infinite. Like, meaning like never ending. It wasn't confined, it wasn't scary, it was total, complete bliss. Something I had never felt here on the earth plane before. And the reason I'm sharing this is because when I woke up like for real, when the firefighters came to wake me up, I was really scared. I thought they were the bad guys, and I was so confused, and I was trying to fight them off me. And then when I realized that you know, what was happening, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And they told me that they were surprised that I was still alive, given my O2 stats that they you know, took in their fire truck, and they were going to try to force me to go to the ER to get some tests done. And I said, no, I'm not going, I'm fine, I feel fine. I just really irritated and really didn't want to deal with this situation and whole crisis and drama with this whole fire and evacuating an apartment building. It was kind of embarrassing. But they made me sign a life waiver saying that they're not held accountable if anything happens to me within the next 24 to 48 hours. And although scary, at the same time it was confusing, because I was in this like just disillusioned state. I was so dissociated from reality, and I think I was in shock about this event for a good 3 or 4 months, because I didn't even register that this really happened until talking about it with a couple of other people that I trusted. And then about a year or two after that, I started hearing about these things called near-death experiences, or NDEs, where you're kind of in between the realm of life itself here on Earth and the realm of what we call afterlife, or some people think of as death, but I think it's just another realm of moving on and continuing forth. Some people think of it as heaven, some people think of it as the opposite of heaven, which I honestly don't like to think of hell, because it's just so negative and so just so polar. You know what I mean? Like, it's so extreme, and that gets into the whole duality and separation, when we really need to focus on, you know, unity and oneness and coming together as a collective and love, peace, and harmony. And I mean, I'm not saying that it couldn't be true. Heaven and hell could very much be real, but I think it's really all about what we perceive, what we know, and our life experiences to determine what happens after physical death, as what it's termed on this earth. But I like to call it our next transition, or a transition phase into the next phase of our lives. And it is scary to a lot of us, because we really don't know for sure, but some of us have a good idea, and inner knowing in here, in our heart space, we know that that isn't the end, that it's just the beginning of another whole new life experience. And yeah. But in the meantime, while we're here on Earth, Mother Earth, or Gaia, it is really our job to try to elevate the frequency of human consciousness. And what I mean by that is to try to wake people up to the truth of what's really happening in this world, the truths, okay? So a lot of people are still quote-unquote brainwashed or stuck in mainstream media and mainstream cable TV, reality TV shows, and a lot of college kids are have a lot of forced programming on this. And it's important to let people express themselves as individuals and really let them thrive on creativity, things that make them happy. You know, a lot of children in schools today are just heavily discouraged from doing what makes them happy. Creative projects, there's not enough of them anymore. And kids of today really need those creative outlets and express themselves. And we as adults can learn from these kids a lot. And as a science educator, I can tell you I've learned so much from kids that I've taught, even adults that I've taught, because I've taught adults too, all the way at age up to age 54. And we all have a lot to learn from each other, you know. Instead of all these labels and barriers and constraints, we need to all see each other as equal living things, equal living humans on this earth. We all are here to learn from each other. And we all are here for a specific purpose. And that could just be smiling and being nice to somebody that has not had anybody be nice to them in years. Like, let's say in a grocery store, you walk in, you have this inner feeling of like, hey, I need to like say hi to this person and just like give them a greeting. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like I need to. If you feel that, it's probably right on. Go with it, you know? And afterwards, it can feel so good and reassuring knowing that you did something so easy and so simple, but that helped somebody in such a big way that gave them the momentum and the courage they need to move forth to the next phase of their life here on earth. And awakening is all about just really researching information, like really being a truth seeker and trying to figure out things for yourself, discerning one reality to the next, and trying to really go based on your feelings of what is right versus what is wrong. And I think that we all have that, and that really is rooted in our solar plexus chakra. So like in our tummy, you know, if you feel like something is wrong, you get this feeling in your stomach. That's kind of my way of knowing that something is not right. And it's a really powerful indicator, and it usually is right on. And I feel like that's my higher power's way of guiding me through the really tough decisions that we must make in this lifetime at certain moments throughout our growth and, you know, different life phases, you know, as we ascend and grow old and grow older. But I like to think of it as growing wiser, because as you experience more time here on earth, you learn more, you go through more life experiences, and therefore you are wiser. Instead of the negative term older, let's think of wiser. And, you know, that we can be teachers and eventually become magicians who are able to learn how to manifest things in our physical reality that we really, really want for the betterment of mankind, of course, as long as it's for the greatest good, and then eventually learn to become wizards. And wizards basically are those who inherently know how to manifest things, but also know how to teach these innate gifts that we all carry to other people in a very calm, loving, skillful way, you know. And I'm just looking in the background behind me and realizing just how beautiful it is out in nature at twilight. Even though I was frustrated I didn't get out here before the sun went down, I'm like, dude, this is kind of cool looking. I mean, look at the sky and the trees. And I'm just gonna pan the camera around. Yeah, it's pretty. So it's about 10-15 minutes into my grounding and earthing, and once again, that is just simply taking off my shoes. It's kind of hard to see right now, but walking barefoot in the grass and just kind of trying to calm down from the day, because sometimes my energy gets so great that it's like, I gotta get out, oh my god, I'm going crazy. And like I get house-atosa sometimes. Like I love my family, but sometimes, you know, when we're in the house together for so long, it can really cause a lot of disharmony and, you know, insanity and like feelings of claustrophobia and like, I gotta get out of this joint, you know, and come outside and just breathe and just, you know, get some feelings of freedom and just some space, you know what I mean? Just good space. And energetic boundaries are pretty good to have. They're very good to have, actually. Really important is what I've learned, because, you know, it's not selfish if we take time for ourselves to, you know, just kind of settle down and think about our days, reflect, and try to figure out what to do from here so we can grow and continually grow each and every day into better versions of ourselves. I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, some people in today's world deem that as selfish. How dare you spend alone time, and you need to spend time with me. Well, yeah, there's a time and a place for hanging out with your friends and your family, but there's also a time and a place for taking time to yourself and learning how to be with yourself, learning how to enjoy spending time alone. Because if you can't enjoy spending time alone or learn how to, it's going to be really hard to, be happy with another person your whole life. Because, when two incomplete humans come together into a relationship or a marriage or a friendship even, it can really, really cause both to kind of form a codependent type relationship and bring each other down. Not always, but a lot of times. And so I think it's really, really good to just work on yourself. Like right now, that's what I'm doing. And I've been in relationships before that have been great. I've been in relationships that have been not so great, but I've also been single before. And this is the first time out of the times I've been single that I've really learned how to deal with myself and what makes me happy, and figure out what I need to become a better person and thrive and grow. And it's actually been really a gift, I think. Despite being one of very few single people in my age group. I was born in 1987, so you can figure that one out. It's been truly a blessing to be able to take the time and figure all this out. I don't have everything figured out. I mean, figure out the things that I never would have had a chance to had I been in a relationship. And that is questioning why things occur, why there are all these changes happening with the universe, why there have been so many quantum leaps in the time or space-time continuum as we know it. Like, time has been feeling like it's speeding up like so fast meaning like exponentially, like just like whoosh, like a J-shaped curve. I mean, I feel like time is just going so fast. It's like I'm running and trying to catch up with it, and I think a lot of others have been feeling that way too. If you've been feeling that way too, maybe let me know some of your experiences. I've had some weird experiences lately where I'm like, did that really just happen? And did the clock just shift 3 hours ago, or 3 hours from when it was? I mean, it's just very bizarre. But I don't know what could be responsible for that. It could be a natural phenomenon that's occurring, but I do sometimes question that CERN facility, CERN, all capital letters, in Geneva, Switzerland, where a group of physicists developed antimatter in the 1950s, and they have the Large Hadron Collider. And what that has been doing, a lot of people have theorized, and I think so too, is that they've been really trying to manipulate space and time as we know it, and inherently they've caused something, possibly, okay, I'm not saying they definitely have, but I think, and many others think this, they might have caused what's known as the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect basically means that a lot of us have different memories of certain specific things that we knew, for sure were right, like the Berenstain Bears one, or there's the Sex in the City versus Sex and the City. Most people remember it as Sex in the City, as do I, and now they're saying it's Sex and the City, and there's even proof that it was actually a change that was made between the two for that one. But then there's this is all based on the story of Nelson Mandela and how a lot of people think that he died in prison versus died elsewhere, I guess in South Africa. But there's a lot of weird changes and discrepancies that have been arising among many people within the population. And that's something cool to look into, the Mandela effect, and share your thoughts and experiences on that. Oh, I think also another one is Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, and now apparently it's Magic Mirror on the Wall. And there's like an Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer. I mean, so many things. And people who think one way versus the other. It's not that any group is right or wrong. They're starting, a lot of quantum, physicists that are really high up there and very, very intelligent are really theorizing that these different groups of people could have very well experienced different, timelines or different parallel realities that could have branched off from an experiment that some scientists did at CERN, but I really don't know. This is just something that I have heard, and I've been thinking on, reflecting on, and trying to formulate my own hypothesis and theory on. But anyways, it is getting dark now, so I'm just going to show you the beautiful treetops minus the urban housing. And then above. And then this is where I was earlier. It's kind of hard to see the opening, but it is truly beautiful, as always. I hope you all are having a fabulous week so far. It is Wednesday, September 17th. I'm sorry, Wednesday, September 13th, 2017. Or at least I think so, unless anybody's manipulated the date. Hopefully not. Anyways, I hope that you all have a wonderful evening and wonderful rest of the week, and I will touch base with you soon. Bye.